Following on from the Edges clip earlier in the week, quite a lot of you have been in touch and asked about different books that I recommend and different books that are good to read that are relatable to Betfair trading. So I've got a few here, I'm quickly fire through. I'll put them all in the links below and a link to them on Amazon just to make sure you get the right one. And well, you know, if you've got any of your own that you consider to be really good, then feel free to put them in the comments just for the others, and put a little bit of description by that if you're going to do that though, yeah. So first off, to get going, we've got Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Now, I've not got a physical copy of this book. I read it 4 times, and it was quite a while ago since I last read it, but it's probably the #1 book I'd recommend. It's the book that helped me most of all with my trading and trading development, particularly early on, as I was getting involved in the Betfair markets. So if there's one book that that I recommend most of all, it's probably that book. And I just want to add, every time I read that book, out of the 4 times that I read it, I definitely got something extra every time. It's quite a deep book. Following on from that, I didn't really want to recommend this book, to be honest, but I thought I'd bring it up. We've got The Snowball by Warren Buffett, or biography of Warren Buffett. Now, it is a big book and it's quite heavy reading, and there's a lot there. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't quite finish that book because I got a little bit bored with it towards the end. But it is jammed with trading wisdom. Warren Buffett basically is trading wisdom. So what I would say is have a little look online at different things Warren Buffett said, different interviews and things he's, influential things he said at the time. It's not hard to find them, and it is the font of knowledge as far as trading goes. And funny enough, that book, when I was reading that, the biography about his life, there was a point where it's like, ding, light bulb went on, and everything seemed to click into place for me. Whether that would have happened without that book, I don't really know, but I had to mention it purely because of that, really. Following on from that, the book I recently read was recommended to me by another Betfair trader who's been doing Betfair trading for a long time, longer than me. Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. Brilliant book, is all I can say. I read the book probably within 4 to 5 days of getting it. It's not too heavy, it's full of information, wisdom on every page, and you're kind of getting information as to market information as well, stuff that is directly relevant to trading markets, and also there's plenty in there as well about yourself and how you sort of incorporate yourself in your trades and that sort of stuff. It's really important, but a good book. I'll probably find time to read that one again. Really enjoyed that. Reminiscences of Stock Operator. Following on, very light and simple book, Zen and the Art of Poker. Only regret with this book is I didn't read it earlier. Absolutely value this book, definitely. It's more a case of it's useful for us as traders and how we're behaving within the markets, and a different view on it. And it's surprising how many things are directly relatable to poker from trading. But it's a great book. It's light reading and it's not very big, so I definitely recommend that. I just wish I'd read it a few years earlier. Only reason I say that is probably because I found out the hard way and I got used to doing things like that. But then this book's just confirmed all the things that I have to say on that. Following on from that, I've got a good one here. I've literally read like 30 or 40 pages out of this book, so I don't know everything about this book yet. Fooled by Randomness by Talib. It was recommended to me by several people over time. I just didn't get around to ordering it previously, and I can tell from the first 30 or 40 pages it's going to be a book that I want to recommend, and it's probably going to be one of those books that I'll come back and look at again in time. Fooled by Randomness. It's more sort of mathematical around the markets and that kind of thing from what I've read so far anyway, but very interesting book. Another one on my reading list I haven't read yet. Again, I only mention this because it's been recommended to me by so many different people. People that I actually trust and believe that do well this kind of stuff. Fortune's Formula by William Poundstone. Obviously, I haven't got anything to say on that because I haven't read it yet. But from the people that recommended it to me, I would have thought it's going to be a good read. Outside of trading, there's an extra book I just wanted to sling in here. It's 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Now, it's got lots of different stuff in there, and it's just an interesting book to read as a trader, or as somebody that wants to work from home, as somebody that wants to progress in life and stuff. It did change my view on money a little bit, which I think was quite productive. And yeah, well, it's just an interesting read. It will help you probably if you're looking at doing this full time more than anything, rather than, you know, it's not going to give you information about the market, but it is a good book. It's a bestseller as well. So I'll leave that down there. And then finally, I've not got a copy of this book because I've lent it to someone as well, but Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now I wanted to chuck this book in there because, again, well, you could relate some of it to trading the markets, but it's more to do with money and managing your money. Because for me, when I first started to become quite profitable with trading, I'd done a lot of crazy things with money, and I blew a lot of money, and I had a good time. And if you've been reading the blog long enough, you'll know that I went on quite a few holidays in quite a short space of time, which I all really enjoyed and I don't regret. But you know, after all of that, I'd been through that sort of phase. I come across this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and read it. It was a great book, and it really helped me, like, thinking about going forward with money as such. So I'd recommend it on that count, and it's, you know, I do a lot more things with my money now rather than sort of blowing it on partying and going down lakeside and spending a few grand on clothes and then, you know, booking another holiday, etc, etc. And of course, booking holidays is great, but it means you have to take time off the market. So I just think I'll be a little bit more wise with my money at times. That's what I want to mention there. And then, of course, I've got to plug it in there. There is one more book that is actually quite helpful for Betfair trading, and that, of course, would be the trading guide. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. But hopefully that's helpful. If you've got any other good books, then make sure you leave them in the comments for other people, and myself included. And yeah, thanks a lot.